Welcome to the three Technoteers. I'm Steven, and joining me is Chilton and Tony. So, why do y'all think people hate vibe coding so much? Me personally, it's changed my life. I mean, I know how to code already, so that kind of probably has something to do with it, because I can actually vibe code correctly. But do you think the people that hate vibe coding are other than the people that just hate AI in general, like that they don't count. But the people that talk crap about vibe coding, is it that they feel like their job is threatened or something, and they're riding that bandwagon, or can they not figure out how to do it properly, maybe? And so they think that it's just junk when in reality it's their input that's junk. Yeah, I don't know. What do y'all think it is? Because I can't figure it out. Because for me, it's been the greatest tool for programming that has ever come out.
Yeah, I've got a lot of thoughts on this. Tony, do you have anything you want to say? I don't want to hog the conversation.
Tony?
I'm sorry. I totally lost connection there. So
Oh,
I
oh,
apologize.
crap.
I was trying to just settle out and I was like, I'll get this fixed. My apologies.
So,
All
So
right.
yeah. So I was talking about
refresh me.
vibe coding. Like a lot of people uh hate it. They don't like it or whatever. And I was wondering, like, is it just other than the people that just don't like AI in general? Like they don't count for this conversation. But the people that do use AI, or like people that don't just hate AI just because it's AI. The ones that don't like vibe coding, do they not like it because they feel threatened, like their job is threatened or something? Or do you think it's maybe like they're they can't figure out how to do it properly, and so what
Sure.
it's giving them is crap, but it's not because the AI can't code properly, it's just because their input's crap.
Well, I think it's like a lot of it really is kind of like relating to tech and job general, right? So when you think about it, for instance, local around here for me is like a John Deere, right? So that John Deere is a big corporation. They have a lot of welders, physical, stuff like that. But then in the automation world, where that's people like us in general would step in and build these system cells, which, autonomously would just build, excuse me, build all this stuff without having to take breaks or do that stuff. So I think it's just change, right? I think if dealing with other people, a lot of it's just change. Some people are so used to being trained one way,
Yeah.
and you get, you know, a decade behind you learning it. And then at the same time in this tech world
All
too,
their
that
training
like,
creates a wall around them that they can't see over. They can't see the
yeah,
green
like you get so
pastures on the
used
other
to,
side.
yeah, you get so used to just being able to do something one way instead of venturing out and trying to learn all this new stuff. I think that's another thing about that small 3% of people, in my opinion, that that reach out and look at all the new stuff that's coming and try to learn all that new stuff just to stay up on par. So I think that's what really has to come to is that people just get so comfortable in their ways and just try to keep going with what they're doing, even if the job does make it easier. For some, that might be that borderline of job security too. So
Yeah. And another thing is, it hasn't really been around long enough, like AI that can actually code well. Like just recently has ChatGPT been able to actually do pretty dang good with coding. Like for like longer, more advanced things, like all in one response. Like,
yeah,
yeah, you can get a little 3 or 4 line function out of it all day long since 2023. But yeah, it's oh, I forgot where I was going with that.
Well, okay, so I want to make a few definitions here real quick.
Yeah.
When we say vibe coding, are we just talking in general about being able to tell an AI, hey, write this shader for me, and then it writes the shader? Or do we mean like the thing that's presented all the time on the internet where they say you can write apps in seconds. Just tell the AI what you want, and it builds the whole
uh,
app for you.
well, what I mean is kind of both, honestly. I mean, it's I'm using it as an umbrella term
Okay.
because uh the point I'm kind of trying to make is a lot of people do it wrong. And that is that second one that you mentioned, having the AI try to make everything all in one go or whatever. Like, that's not how to do it. Like,
Okay.
yeah,
All
of
right.
course that's going to give you bad code if you try to do that,
So
Because
so there's
it's, and it brings up another point, and it's, I wonder if a lot of the people that complain about it know about object-oriented programming, you know?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
section it out.
Okay. So the product that I have, CodeWalker, I wrote that 20 years ago to help me solve problems. In that time, around 2016, I had a business partner, really good friend of mine, who told me I should turn it into a commercial product and not just keep hoarding it for myself. So I did that. And then she was like, she knew all these people in tech, and she's like, we should take it around to these big companies and show them how we can solve their big programming problems. So first, we did it as a consulting thing, where I went and I used it on places. So I went to Verizon and I solved a big problem for them, and used it for a medical company, medical billing company, and a few other things like that. But that only really got me money. It didn't really make money for the company. So we decided we'd go shop this around. And I remember the first meeting we went to, we had the CEO and the head of each of the departments, and then like three programmers who all came in to see the presentation. And I showed them everything it could do. And I took some of their code and showed them, here are the problems you got. They were the CEO down to everyone except the programmers were totally on board. Zero programmers wanted this. Every one of them said the same thing. I know exactly what my code does. I don't need someone coming in here and telling me that I'm wrong. I get that.
Yeah.
And then we saw that for about like somewhere between, I'd say, 50 to 100 other companies that I physically went to show this thing to, or that I did demonstrations online. Every single time that we would get another developer in there, they'd be like, I don't need someone else telling me how my code works.
Mm.
And that was and there was a big database company in Houston that we went to. I everyone was on board until we got the first developer in there, and he was just pissed off that he was being asked to see a tool that would help them understand their code, because every one of them took it as a personal insult that someone's trying to tell you how your code works
You
and tell you how
know,
to do your job.
I didn't even,
Mm.
oh my God, yeah, because programmers are so egotistical. That's
So,
probably why a lot of them hate vibe coding. They're like,
well,
no,
and
I'm
so
better.
so the thing is, programming, it's not for the faint of heart. It never has been. If you write anything complicated at all, and the possible exception now, but prior to AI assistance, if you wrote anything that was remotely complicated, you were going to spend months trying to fix that shit all the
Hmm.
time. It is
Yeah,
a drag, and other people don't understand how much effort it takes. Like when I tell
yeah,
people, no, I was up till 5 last night trying to figure out why the letter T is showing up as a letter S, and hey, I figured it out. They're like, who cares? Ship it.
yeah.
Everyone has that
Yeah.
who cares, ship it attitude. And so you've got a lot of developers who have been through years of trauma of trying to explain this shit is difficult. It's complicated. Let me work on it a little more. Let me try to figure it out. And then now you have these people coming along saying, well, it's really easy now. You just tell it to do a thing and then it's going to do it. So
Hmm.
there's a conflict there.
Well, see,
And yeah, go ahead.
one thing that's actually helped me with that though is being able to have AI look at it and figure out what the issue is,
You,
and then it lets me know, and I get better at picking them up in the future because of that.
Look,
You know,
that's you though. That's what I'm saying. A lot of
Right.
people don't want they don't want that.
That's that
And
3% I was talking about too, where you want to learn stuff. They could, I mean, no offense to everybody else, and I don't mean anything like that, but like look at us three that we're talking like this in general. A lot of people don't want to have that conversation, you know, and that whole don't want to I don't want to call it egotistical, but again, when somebody is passionate about what they've done and how much time they've put into their coding and stuff, and then you have somebody like Chilton here coming along going, hey, I can help you fix whatever and look for, these errors in your program, they're going to go instantly go, really, and build that wall up. So
I get called by people that don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. I get told that I'm arrogant and egotistical all the time. And I'm just like, okay, fine. But behind the scenes,
Dude,
but the real
math.
life, the version my wife sees is me going every day going, holy shit, this is the problem I'm never going to be able to solve. Oh my God, it's impossible to solve this. So one of the things is that you've got a lot of people who don't, they have a lot of pain invested in their product. It's kind of like art in that regard, in that you've bled for this thing.
I try not to think of my code as art.
If you've ever repaired a car, well, that's okay. That's up to you. But I'm just saying, if you've repaired a few cars, I know that Stephen has. I don't know, Tony, if you've done much car repair before.
Oh yeah, Tony's
yes.
a car guy.
Oh, but yes.
For me,
I think Tony's the one that got me into car. I think you're the one that showed me Fast and Furious the first time.
Yes, sir.
After that,
yes, sir.
That was it.
Yeah. Okay. So the deal. If you're working on the engine and you haven't cut yourself at least once, at least for me, I feel like I didn't really do any real work. Like if there's not blood coming off my hands somewhere. Because every time that I've worked on a car, I've ended up cutting myself somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of like that. It's like you put some effort into this. It's not just something you sat down and just whimsically tried and, oh, maybe it worked, maybe it didn't. You put time and effort. I've got just show you this real quick. I've got an iPad here that I keep a track of all of my math on, and I'm not great at math. And so I've got these notes, right? So for everything that I tried to figure out, I've got notes on how the hell is that supposed to work? And it takes me a long time to wrap my head around stuff. Well, I hate to say it, and this is the problem that people just have to accept. At this point in time, today, January 19th, AI is good enough. I can say with great certainty. So CodeWalker internally has these parsers. Those parsers took me months, if not years, to write. Every one of the language parsers deconstructs another language. It is as good in every case that I've tried. I mean, as this is what I've been shooting for. I'm trying to recreate what the other language's actual compiler does. That's what CodeWalker does internally, without actually just going and stealing their code. So in every case, I've got this massive theme that runs through and looks for all these edge cases and all this and all that and recompiles what they do and then crams that into this other meta language. And this is all covered in a patent that I have because it was so complicated. And I was like, I got to patent this. And all of this is at a point now where I can tell, and I did this weekend, I handed one of my most complex parsers. Now, I've done this before. I've tried to get AI to look at the parsers before. About 3 months ago, I tried this. I gave one of my parsers to Claude or Grok or something and said, see if you can figure out what was wrong. And it couldn't fix shit. It would break every single time that it tried to do anything. Yesterday, I handed it one of them and I said, hey, what do you think this is? And it was like, here are all the things you did wrong. Here's all the fixes. Here you go. Handed me back the completed parser. And this was one that I had probably taken about 2 months to write. It's coming out in the future release of CodeWalker, new language. But it's I was like, there's no way you got it right. And then I tried it and it worked. And so now I'm like, okay, this is different. This is very different. This is very different than it was just a few months ago.
Yeah.
We're at a point now where I can hand something to AI and say, do this. And it's a complicated thing. And it'll say, here you go.
Especially
And
if
it's,
you break it down like multi-step it, like, and
Yeah.
especially create like an outline first and stuff, and give it the outline that it can follow, and be like, all
oh,
right,
yeah.
now we're gonna do this part of the outline, and
Yeah.
it's
You
just creating
itemize it.
a little piece of the script at a time. Man, dude, literally every piece will be correct the first time now. Like
Yeah. Yeah. That's
as long
new.
as you like piece it out and stuff, don't try to do like everything all at once. Like literally every piece will be correct the first time
Well,
it
the
outputs.
thing is that this is new. This is not where AI was 3 months ago, in my opinion. This
Yeah,
isn't where we were a
Agreed.
year ago,
Agreed.
certainly. So I don't know what to tell
yeah,
people. If people keep saying, the AI can't do this or that, that's great. But everyone who at this point is willing to just suck it up and accept that the AI is actually pretty damn good now,
yeah.
that they're in for a ride, because now
Oh yeah,
you're shifting your mindset. You no longer are in the trench. You have to take more of a, I don't want to say managerial role, because I've always kind of despised that concept, but you have to take more of an architectural mode where you're
yeah,
like, okay, here is ultimately what I want. Here's the way I think it should work. And even then, you could make an argument that you could just say, hey, what's the best way to build an app that does X or Y? And there's a good chance it's going to come up with a better architecture than you would.
yeah. Oh
I
yeah,
haven't really explored that too much, because that's a level of ego that I'm not willing to let go of yet.
yeah. No, I mean it's
I'm
gotten
still a little bit like, no, this is good. It's my idea. But if we're getting real close to that point where you could say, what's the whole enchilada going to look like, and
Yeah.
let it do its thing.
yeah. I just recently made a graphic interface for my trading bot, and I'll bring it up on screen real quick. But let's see. How do I do this? There we go. So, yeah, this was made like a month ago. I made it with ChatGPT. I'm still working on it, still perfecting it and whatnot. But y'all can see it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, yeah, this is a interface I made for my trading bot, and it's totally vibe coded. Made it in like a week, like totally from scratch. Uh, Ignore that total realize. I have some profit calculation errors I have to fix in the code.
Sure, sure.
But it's actually doing pretty good right now. Just caught this drop nicely yesterday. Anyways though, that's the how do I get rid of it? Damn it. I need to I guess learn how to use
The
I
hotkey.
actually had, that reminds me, I had a question about your trading bot that I'm going to ask you later.
Okay. Yeah, but like I made that in a week. I basically have like no experience with making GUI stuff. I'm a total like functions and logic kind of guy. Like all I
So
ever mess with is back end kind of stuff. So
I have a really, really close friend, amazing guy. I'm not going to say his name because I don't know if he wants me to mention this, but I'm not going to say he vibe coded it exactly, but he has a physical real world device. He works at a company that uses these devices for detecting certain types of problems. Um, he had over the last few months, he's had an AI help him build a training simulator for that device. All he gave it was, this is the device name, this is what it is. I need to build a simulator for it. And it went and looked up how the device works, what it detects, how the UI works. And it's helped him build a straight up simulator that lets you plug things into it and set numbers and all kinds of stuff in the device like you were physically holding it. And it does waveform calculations and error detection and all kinds of stuff, and it's just amazing. And he sent me a prototype of it last night, and I, according to him, he did not write a line of code for this. If someone gave me this as a spec and said you need to write this, this is your project, I'd be like, yeah, cool. It's a 6-month project, probably, and I need one of the devices, and I'll need to talk to one of the engineers and understand more about it because I know nothing about this industry. But maybe 6 months or so, I could probably get it. And then when we got to the waveform analysis part, I'd probably be like, okay, that's going to be another month at least because I don't understand how the hell you're going to extract a waveform from this data coming in. And and oh my god, and it works so well, and it
Yeah.
blows me away that he built that. Um, and we've worked together on a lot of projects in the past, and every single time that we've applied some new technology, it's gotten a little better, a little faster, a little easier. And at this point, it's like I don't know what the next few months are going to bring, because if I can get my head around I've always so back in around 2016, 2017, when we were first promoting Codewalker on the circuit, one of the things was I was telling people, I had a list of on my old website. I was like, here's a list of all the software I've written. I've written and shipped over 1,000 commercial products in the 30 years I've been a programmer, because I was a freelance programmer, and a lot of those are little projects, really easy. A lot of them overlap. There are a lot of games, a lot of simple stuff. I'm not saying that I've built 1,000 really high-end products that everyone uses. It's mostly stuff that no one's ever used. But I did the work. I put the time in. I know how much time it takes to do this stuff. At this point, I'm looking at this, and realistically, if I had just a bunch of machines that I could just, every one of them was hooked up to Claude, and I had enough of a budget on Claude, I could probably break out a number of apps on a pretty regular basis, maybe even per day.
Okay, so check this out. Here's some software that I wrote. It's called Function Former.
Okay.
It uses AI. Uses here's the Chat GPT version. Out of the way. It uses the Chat GPT. This is the Chat GPT version. Uses it to create code. You can choose which one. We're gonna do 5 mini. So create a calculator with a GUI with buttons. Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Continue without. So what it does now, it looks at the goal, and they might not. I don't know if this model is actually still available anymore because they did change stuff recently, and I have not used this in a bit. So looks like it's working. Okay, so what it's going to do now is ask us a bunch of questions to get more info. Um, and at some point, yeah, here we go. Okay, so which GUI library? Let's do Technoteers. Any the basic ones. No. Keep it simple. Should button. Let's just do buttons only. Simple basic layout. Um, raw load. Let's button there. 8. Yes. How many questions are there? 11. Okay. Yeah, it's usually anywhere from like 10 to like 15 questions or whatever. On more complex stuff, it might be more questions, but just whatever. It doesn't care. Like, I don't there. No. Okay, so now it is creating a new prompt, a new goal or whatever with all the information from the questions. So once we get that back, it'll start creating an outline for the whole script. And then it'll use that outline and all the individual sections from it to create the script itself. So it created the draft of the new goal. Now it's critiquing it and fixing it. You can see right here.
You using a local LLM for this?
No, this is using ChatGPT through the API. I got
Nice.
a couple dollars on there, so I just
Nice.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, we got the new goal. Create a single file Python calculator, no external dependencies, using Tkinter provided simple basic GUI with buttons only, input support for basic blah 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 blah. Okay, whatever. Now we got our outline over here. We got imports, globals, functions, and then our main right there. You can't really see that, but yeah. So yeah, set up like just a standard object-oriented Python script. Imports at the top, globals, functions, and then your main. So it goes through, it's refining the outline right now. It's God dang it. It's going through each section of the outline and refining it.
Very cool.
And yeah, so we'll come back to this yeah, here in a few minutes we'll have a calculator.
Nice.
But yeah, it's crazy what you can do with AI, you know, like this is something I wrote like a year ago at this point. So I can't imagine what it would be able to do with the AIs that are available now.
Right. So you made the function former, what you're
Yeah.
doing right here, right? You made all that.
I made function former. This
Nice.
program here. Yeah, here's the
And it's the making made easy,
here's the
right?
code for it. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, for my YouTube channel, making made easy.
Making, yeah. That's
All
awesome.
the code. Well, what is it? 4,446 lines for that. It's not too bad. Okay, so we got our finished outline. We can go over it, make sure it's good. Looks good to me. Use this outline. So yeah, okay, so we got 10 minutes left on our meeting. But yeah, so it's just it just creates the code at that point. It's that running in the background. Anyways, whatever. It's just creating a calculator anyways, so it's not that exciting. Yeah.
No, that's
cool.
actually really cool.
Yeah.
It's super cool, man. And I need to test it out with the new versions of ChatGPT as well. I need to add that too because wow,
Yeah, I'd like to see actually if you do end up doing that, I'd like to see like what the difference is. I mean, obviously, you know, now that
I
you
have a
kind of showed us
video
this.
on that on the Making Made Easy YouTube channel actually.
Okay.
So, and Function Former is available open source for free on my GitHub as well. So, same GitHub that my trading bot's on. So,
Nice.
yeah. For anyone that wants to know, it's on GitHub. My username is GarageSteve1155. So, yeah. I guess we are probably at our time limit for today, guys. So, it's been a good talk. So,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, thanks for joining me, guys, and thanks for joining us, everyone else. See you next time.
Absolutely. This is a lot of fun. Thanks. See you guys.
Yep. See ya.